Hello, dark readers and other people, and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library podcast. If you are with us live, welcome to our Amazon Live channel. By the way, if you are listening to our podcast, make sure to join us on amazon.com/live/Dark Side of the Library so that you can chat with us live. I'm here with my awesome co-host, Carrie.
Hello.
So today we are going to be talking about new YA releases coming out March 2023. These are some of our favorites. You know how it goes with YA. It's either really exciting or really hysterical. So I'm pretty excited about it. Carrie, I guess I'm going first, correct?
Yes, and I'm going to welcome our Amazon Live friends with a little message in the chat.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I will begin this podcast episode with our first book. It is called A Door in the Dark. It says book 1 of the Waxways, which kind of creeps me out. I don't know if I like a story series that's Waxways. Anyway, this is really similar to One of Us is Lying and Deadly Education. It is a fantasy thriller. This is interesting. Yes. It's kind of, maybe it's not quite dark academia because technically they're outside of the academy. This is about 16 wizards, and they're supposed to make it home alive after a malfunctioning spell leaves them stranded in the wilderness.
I hate when that happens.
Right, I do it all the time. Mistakes. So, but the thing is, too, the reason why it seems like a survival situation is when the spell does malfunction, they realize that one of their other people that were there is actually dead. So they're like, oh, we're not sure if it's the spell that did it or not. Our main character is Ren Monroe, and she is, I feel her. She's a perfectionist. She's an overachiever, and she wants to be the best in the class. Who doesn't want to do that? So we also have Theo Brood, which...
Let me guess, they're dark and brooding?
Yes. And he's a rich kid. So, of course, he's had it really easy. And so nobody feels bad for him. And he's a jerk, of course. Of course. Very, very tropey here.
Why are jerks always so handsome, too?
Oh. I bet you that's what's going to happen. It always happens. Why even mention him? Anyway, so there's a fight that breaks out amongst all of these students, including Ren and Theo is probably the one that starts it. And in the middle of this fight, all the people involved are teleported into a forest in the middle of nowhere. One person, like I said, is dead on arrival, and they have to survive, and they only have a limited amount of magic, so that's a problem for wizards, and they know that somebody is following them. So it sounds cool and fun. I'm really curious why it's called Waxways. The forest is supposed to be really dangerous, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on in this novel. This is by Scott Reintgen, and it comes out March 28th. This is A Door in the Dark. What's next?
It sounds good.
Yes, it does.
My next book is Chaos and Flame by Tessa, Gratton, and Justina Ireland. They were sworn enemies, but fate had other plans. There are 2 dragon birds fighting on the cover. One of the dragons has tentacle tail. Not sure what's happening. Stunning cover, though. Very beautiful. Red with purple and my favorite color, teal. So, it is the first book in a ferocious YA fantasy duology, so 2 books, featuring ancient magic, check, warring factions, cool, and a romance between the 2 people in the world with the most cause to hate each other. That'll be fun.
Enemies to lovers. So
the 2 people are Darling Seabreak. Fantasy books get to have weird, unusual character names, but Darling, okay. She can't remember anything before the murder of her family at the hands of House Dragon. Is this a little derivative? I'm not sure. But she knows she owes her life to both the power of her chaos boon, Boon, and House Kraken for liberating her from the sewers where she spent her childhood. I'm having flashbacks of my childhood
Oh,
living in the gutter. Oh no,
Carrie.
that's just my mind in the gutter. Okay. So when her adoptive Kraken father is captured in battle, she vows to save him, even if that means killing each and every last member of House Dragon. So now the other person is called Talon Goldhoard because dragons hoard gold. Someone read their Lord of the Rings books.
Yes. Yes, they did.
So he has always been a dutiful war prince for House Dragon, and he was brave and he led the elite troops that his brother commanded. His brother is the High Prince Regent. But lately, his brother's erratic rule, and I'm thinking of Jaime Lannister and his brother's erratic rule, anyway, threatens to undo 100 years of House Dragon's hard work. And they're going to probably unseat his brother. Talons resists because he's like, that's my brother. But then he's ambushed by a fierce girl, our little friend, Darling Seabreak. She looks exactly like the girl that his brother has been painting obsessively, repeatedly for years in portraits or in his artwork. Well, so Talon knows she's the key to everything. They have to navigate the treacherous politics between the houses. They get caught up in the complicated game that the High Prince is playing against everyone. Definite Game of Thrones vibes. They're unlikely allies, but they have to stop fighting each other long enough to learn to fight together to survive fiery prophecies. So the publisher is Razorbill. It's meant for grades 9 to 12. It is Chaos and Flame by Tessa Gratton, and it comes out March 28th.
My next book is The Family Fortuna. This comes out or came out on March 7th. It's by Lindsay Eagar. This one's really unique. I've not really seen a book like it, at least it's probably a once a year kind of book. Avita is our main character, and all she wants to be is a star. She feels like she was born to be a star, but it's something that's weird about her, or fun, is that she's a bird woman, actually. And
That
she's
explains why she has a bird hat on her face on the cover.
yes, exactly. So she always sells out every single night for her show, and she feeds off of the screams of the audience. She gets really excited. She's like, I'm doing a good job. I love it. Until, of course, a handsome artist comes and draws a poster of her, and it is appalling. She looks at it and she is just like, oh my God, what? That's
Is it
terrible.
not flattering, or does she not
Yeah.
see herself as she really is? Or
Well, she's asking, is that all he sees of her? And that's what's appalling to her, is that, she doesn't think that she's appalling. So I like that. And she's like battling against the vision of an artist. She is determined to be even more than this artist has portrayed her to be, but can her circus family survive what she has planned? She has this whole thing. She wants to totally sell at the show and really, really put on a show, but she's not sure if her family is going to be able to handle it. This is a horrific and heartfelt story about what it means to be different. So it sounds really cute and fun and dark. I like it. It is The Family Fortuna. It is by Lindsay Eagar.
I'm definitely intrigued by that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My next book is called Greymist Fair. No One Ever Leaves. Ooh. It is by Francesca Zappia. Comes out March 28th. The villagers of Greymist Fair know that the woods are a dangerous and magical place, and that they should never set foot off of the road. But we all do. So when a young Tehlor discovers a body, her search for the culprit reveals even more strange and dark happenings around the town of Greymist Fair. So two roads lead into a dark forest, and they meet at Greymist Fair. It's a little village hidden in the trees. It's a place that's kept alive by the families that never leave.
Oh.
So the village's young Tehlor, and I don't know how to say her name, I'm just going to say it's Heike, or Heika. Let's say Heika. Sounds very Norwegian. She discovers a body on the road and goes looking for who's responsible. But her quest only leads to more strange happenings. And this book is apparently inspired by the original, bloodier versions of the Brothers Grimm tales. And it's a murder mystery, and it's supposedly a page turner. So I like books set in woods and secluded villages, so I'm definitely going to pick it up. It's by Green Willow Books publisher, grade level 8 to 12, reading age 13 to 17 years, or in my case, in your 50s. And it's called Greymist Fair.
Awesome. That one sounds interesting. I think I might pick that one up. My next book is called Grimm. It is by Sara B. Elfren, and this actually got pushed to June 20th. You can still pre-order it.
Oh,
Yeah, of course. This story is set in Denmark, so there's a couple names in here that I am going to try to pronounce. Our main protagonist, Casper, is 18 years old, and he's kind of gone through this really rough time. But something great is he's landed his dream job at an amusement park, and he befriends a new person named Iris, and Iris teaches him how to terrify guests at the haunted house.
that's a great skill to share with a friend.
It is, and
That's
I
so
like that.
kind.
It is, and I like that that's how they bond, is that, they get to terrify the guests together. But then we jump through time a little bit. 30 years in the past, Casper's father, and I think his name is Hakan. Hakan befriends somebody whose name is Grimm, and they create this death metal band together. Grimm ends up passing away from mysterious circumstances, and the band, of course, inevitably just, it breaks up. Nobody wants to play a band after their member has passed away. So the thing is, Casper wants to know what really happened. This whole
Yeah.
thing with his dad and the death metal band, and who is Grimm? Why was he such this profound person in their life? So it's there's like not a lot in this summary that they've provided for us, but it's enough to keep me intrigued. I'm interested. Who is Grimm? So this book is called Grimm. It is by Sara B. Elfgren. Our translator is Judith Kairos.
My next book is The Immeasurable Depth of You, and I've heard about this on a couple of Bookstagram type podcasts.
Oh.
It is by Maria Ingrande Mora. Comes out April 4. It got pushed back too, and the publishers are having trouble getting stuff out as planned, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So how do you face your fears when everything is terrifying? 15-year-old Bryn can't stop thinking about death, as we all do, or none of us would be here at the dark side of the library, right?
Right. Yes.
Her intrusive thoughts and severe anxiety leave her feeling helpless and hopeless.
Oh.
So her mom reads one of Bryn's blog posts, as moms probably should do, and thinks it's a suicide note. So the mom takes extreme measures, confiscating Bryn's phone, blocking her internet access, and banishing her to stay with her father. Now, her father lives off the grid on a houseboat in the Florida mangroves. Now, to me as an adult woman, that kind of sounds like fun and picturesque, but that would really suck as a teenager. So
yes.
She's isolated from her online friends, who are her only friends. Bryn resigns herself to a summer of mind-numbing boredom and loneliness.
Oh.
Will get a job. I'm sorry. Until Skylar appears. Skylar is everything that Bryn isn't. Sultry, athletic, confident, and Bryn feels at home around this fearless girl who pushes her to try new things and makes her flutter with nerves that have nothing to do with anxiety. Ooh, someone has a crush. So Bryn discovers that Skylar is trapped in the bayou suddenly and can't tell her why. Wow, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
She resolves to free her new crush from the dark waters, even if it means confronting all of her worst fears. Okay, I like the sound of this. That is The Immeasurable Depth of You. It's apparently a bit of a dark romance where someone has to save someone else. Comes out April 4 by Maria Ingrande Mora.
My next book is called In Nightfall. It is by Suzanne Young, and I think this is the same author that did one of our kids' books on our previous live stream, actually. This book... what?
I'm getting a Lost Boys 80s throwback feeling from the cover, except it's three girls with these amazing heart-shaped shades and lots of red, and what's going on?
Yep, you're right. It is Lost Boys meets Buffy.
Well,
and
they did a good job with the book cover. It tells us exactly.
Yes, it does. I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. Our main characters are Theo and her brother Marco. They throw this really epic party, but they get caught. And now they have to go stay with their grandmother
Oh,
over
no.
the summertime
Oh,
in
that happened to
Nightfall.
me.
Did it really?
I didn't get to live in a town with a cool name called Nightfall, Oregon.
True, but it only has like 800-ish residents there. It's very small, very cutesy. And they think it's really cute too, actually. So it's not like Theo and Marco are it's not that bad for, a house party. They only have one rule that they have to follow, and that's that they have to be home before dark. That's it. So they end up meeting Minnow and her friends, and they have this big, big pull on both Theo and Marco. But Minnow and her friends aren't what they appear.
Oh,
Clearly, they're probably vampires if they're like luring them in. They're like, "Oh, hey, Theo and Marco. I'm Minnow." Anyway, so eventually they realize that they should have listened to their grandmother, and something dark does emerge from the town or somewhere in Nightfall, and now they have to figure out how to survive / escape this terrible thing that's happening. Probably vampires. That's
well,
what
this
I'm
sounds
assuming.
fun.
It does. I might, if I have like some free time, which is funny because I don't think you and I have free time.
No. We
But
kind of run a lot of blogs and podcasts.
yeah, but if you're feeling like a really fun vampire novel, this one I think is going to be hilarious and definitely nostalgic. If anything, it is called In Nightfall. It's by Suzanne Young, and it comes out March 28th.
My next book is called Last Sunrise in Eterna. It has a very cartoony cover, so I'm a little intrigued what's going on. 3 teenagers are invited to spend 7 days on a secluded island that's floating off the coast of Puerto Rico to learn the magic of the elves. Ooh,
Okay.
I like this.
Yes.
But all they have to do is give up their dreams. Wait a minute.
Oh,
What if their dream was spending 7 days on an island learning magic? Okay.
Ooh.
So our main character is 17-year-old goth, Sevim Burgos, and they hate elves. Everyone else on Earth loves the elves, especially the handsome elf princes. Hello.
Oh.
And everyone else would give anything to participate in Eterna's annual exchange, where 3 teens can trade their dreams for a week of elven magic. But Sevim knows things most people don't. She can see through the illusions that the elves are using to conceal their crimes. Whoa. Ever since elves killed her father, she's understandably longed for revenge.
Oh, yes.
She has to help support her single mother, and she's been selling abandoned elf corpses on the black market.
I love this.
Does she like have them in a bag over like a sack on her back? Like, here you go. That's 7.
She's got to be buff, like really big to do that.
Elves are shorter than people, but yeah, okay.
Okay, that's true. If they're not Tolkien elves, that's true.
So the elves have killed her dad. She's supporting her single mother by killing elves, or at least finding their bodies. But the elf prince named Arrow has noticed her body snatching. So he gets revenge by retaliating by kidnapping her mother. And now, to get her mom back, she has to participate in the exchange.
Oh my god.
So she has to go to the home of the elves, surrender her dreams, and put her trust in the charming prince who took the last family member she has. And if she can master elf magic, maybe she can discover how the royal elves might be more tied to her own history than she ever suspected. So I'm glad this is a children or YA book, because it sounds a little silly and contrived, but it does sound interesting, and I'm glad to see Puerto Rico featured in a fantasy book. The publisher is Page Street Kids. The title is Last Sunrise in Eterna, and the author is Amparo Ortiz.
My next book is a dark LGBTQ+ romance, fantasy romance. It is called Lucha of the Night. It is by Tehlor K. Mejia, and I hope I said that right. or Mejia, and it comes out March 21st. Let me just triple check. Yes, March 21st. I wasn't sure if they pushed it this time. Lucha will do anything to protect her sister, and that includes striking a dangerous bargain with a scorned god. That's
Whoa,
never
be
a good
careful,
idea.
girl. Woo!
Yeah, that's some big pants you have to wear. Under the cover of the forest night, or the night forest, sorry, will Lucha be able to step into her own power, or will she be consumed by it? There are 350 pages of action-packed fantasy, dark magic, and it is a coming-of-age story and LGBTQ+. There's not a whole bunch going, there's not a lot in the description, but I have heard some really fantastic things about this book. I have also seen it on TikTok a couple of times. So check out Lucha of the Night Forest. Plus, this cover is gorgeous. It's so pretty. I like it a lot. This is by Tehlor K. Mejia.
It's like branches are swirling around her and surrounding her with night flowers. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and the moon around her head is, it's so pretty. Yeah.
Well, my next book is My Dear Henry, and it's a Jekyll and Hyde remix.
Oh.
With a black man on the cover. Ooh.
Ooh. His eyes smoky.
We're getting some more diversity in YA books, finally.
Yes.
So, My Dear Henry, a Jekyll and Hyde remix, is part of the Remix Classics series of books. This one is by Kaylynn Bayron. Came out March 7. It's set in 1885 in London. Gabriel Utterson is a 17-year-old law clerk, and he's returned to London for the first time since his life and the life of his dearest friend Henry Jekyll was derailed by a scandal that led to his and Henry's expulsion from the London Medical School. As you can imagine, they were probably being pretty naughty. And whispers about the true nature of Gabriel and Henry's relationship have followed the boys for 2 years. Gabriel has a chance to start over, but he doesn't want to move on without Henry. His friend, Henry Jekyll, has become distant and cold since the disastrous events of the prior spring, and he stopped writing to him. Gabriel's desperate to discover what became of him and starts watching, i.e., I call it stalking, the Jekyll house. As he's stalking the Jekyll house, he meets, you can guess this, Hyde, a strangely familiar young man with white hair and a magnetic charisma. He claims to be friends with Henry, and Gabriel starts to get jealous of their apparent closeness. Well, if you only knew how close they are. Henry continues to act like Gabriel means nothing to him. But the secret behind Henry's apathy is only the first part of a deeper mystery. Monsters of all kinds prowl within the London fog, and not all of them are out for blood.
Oh my God.
That was pretty dramatic. This is My Dear Henry, a Jekyll and Hyde remix by Kaylynn Bayron, and I'm definitely going to check it out because I love Jekyll and Hyde retellings.
Oh, I learned something new about you today. My next book is called The Memory Eater, and it is by Rebecca Mahoney, and it comes out March 14th, it's already out. Ooh. The Harlow family has been responsible for keeping a monster called the Memory Eater locked away and fed. The setting is Whistler Beach in Maine, so a little moody. This Memory Eater, it survives off of those who want their memory taken.
Yes.
People who want to forget.
Can you take out the 4 years of high school, please?
Yeah, that would be a great one to take out.
And the week I had norovirus. Just prefer to forget that ever happened.
I feel bad too. Although I appreciate it at the same time. So there's so many. Yes. Oh,
you appreciate norovirus?
I appreciate that now I know to be extra, extra, extra careful around children.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Because they're gross. Anyway, so Alana Harlow, her grandmother passes away, and now all of this, keeping this monster contained, is her responsibility. But the thing is, she can't remember how to do it because parts of her memory are missing because it was taken long ago, including how to keep the memory eater locked up.
Oops.
I know, mistakes were made.
Do you think children's memories taste better than adult memories because they're bittersweet? I don't know.
Ooh, oh, Carrie, that was dark.
Sorry.
No, I like it.
Just thinking
So,
out loud.
yeah, no, I like that. Memory Eater is now loose, inevitably, because Alana can't do anything. And Alana now has to figure out how to stop this from happening. But she learns that tampering with memories obviously comes at a price. She learns that there's a family secret and there's hidden magic, and she has to get this monster under control now without a memory of how to do it. It sounds really interesting. I've seen
It
this book
does.
pop up a lot, like a lot. So this is The Memory Eater. This is by Rebecca Mahoney.
My next book is 3 Drops of Blood.
Mwah.
It is a novel by Gretchen McNeil. Comes out March 21. It's described as a good girl's guide to murder meets Hitchcock.
Oh, all right.
So Kate is an actress, so she's no stranger to drama. Yes, theater people. Oh, so much drama. She had a chance at a leading role, but it got canceled. And she's willing to do whatever it takes to get her acting career back on track, even if it means getting a boring office job, and we've all had them, at her best friend's father's law firm. Then she can prove to her parents she can support herself rather than having to go back to high school. Now, rather than living life on the big screen, she's stuck filing mundane contracts, or in my case, stock market documents before computers. Anyway.
Oh, no, that's awful.
She watches the people in the office live their equally boring lives. But when she sees things heat up between a woman and her assistant, her new source of entertainment takes a turn for the worse because she witnesses a double murder. Well, now she has to get anyone to believe her and find out who this mystery woman is so she can get answers. But she learns more and more about the circumstances leading to the gruesome act of the double murder, and she begins to realize there's a bigger mystery under the surface. So this is a voyeuristic thriller filled with twists and turns, and I'm surprised that it's published by Disney Hyperion.
Yeah.
They don't usually do quite this kind of darkness.
No.
That's 3 Drops of Blood, which makes me think of Snow White's mother. But anyway, it's by Gretchen McNeil, comes out March 21.
All right, my next book, final book for today is The Witch and the Vampire. This is by Francesca Flores, and it comes out March 21st, tomorrow, for recording days. I have to admit, I'm very guilty of wanting this strictly for the cover and strictly for the title. Like, it just looks so cute and awesome and
It's
beautiful.
people holding hands with flowers. It's very sweet, and one set of the hand is incredibly pale, and the other is beautifully dark.
Yes, and with dark nail polish.
Blood red.
There is a lot going on in this book, so I honestly, like, I'm not going to be too picky. I think this is more like a dark fantasy, but leans heavier into like LGBTQ romance, so I'm going to go into it with that mindset. So I think you should too, if you do read this. Here's the story. Summary. Ava and Kay were best friends until vampires invaded and turned Ava into a vampire. Both of them were set like they were on track to be witches. They were supposed to be witches.
How rude.
Yes. Eugenia is Ava's mother, and Eugenia needs Ava and is trying to steal Ava's power because she's still, even though she's a vampire, she's still witchy. She's got witch powers. She needs Ava's power because Eugenia too wants to hide that she is also a vampire. So she steals it from her daughter. What a jerk, terrible mom. So then Ava escapes this whole thing with her mom, but at the same time she needs to stop her mom from destroying the town. I don't know how she does that by escaping, but she does.
How did you stop your mom from destroying our town?
I don't know. This is almost like a Lion King situation. Maybe she fights Timon and Pumbaa, grows up a little. Anyway, so Kay, on the other hand, she is in the midst of finalizing being a fire witch. And they have vowed to kill all vampires. And she's definitely vowed to kill all vampires, including Ava, her ex-best friend. Yes. Kay follows Ava as she sees her escaping this whole situation with her mom, and it convinces Ava to travel through a dangerous forest with her, hoping to turn her in, once they are through this dangerous forest. Ava agrees because, one, she wants to rekindle a friendship, and she has lingering feelings for Kay. So there's a lot of complexity there. She doesn't realize that her ex-best friend wants to kill her, though. It's just sad. The forest is really dangerous. There's tree monsters. There's vampires who surprise attack from above.
As they should.
Yes. And on top of all of this in this plot, we have Ava's evil stepfather that is tracking them. So Ava's parents suck, like all of them. So secrets unravel. Kay realizes there's things she doesn't know about her witch coven. They need to escape this forest from jumping vampires and tree monsters and her stepfather. Ava and Kay might be each other's only hope, and we know where this is going. So if you are interested, and I honestly will probably go read it because it's just I'm falling for it. This is called The Witch and the Vampire. This is by Francesca Flores.
My final book today is called Wolfwood, and it is a teenage girl who begins secretly forging paintings, plunging her into a dark and dangerous, not just a world, an imaginary world. What?
Okay.
Wolfwood is by Marianna Bear, and it comes out March 28th from Amulet Books, a great dark YA publisher. So Indigo, the teenage girl, and her mother is the once famous artist Zoe Sara. They've barely been scraping by since her mom's breakdown.
Aww.
When an art gallery offers Zoe a revival show for her previously unfinished blockbuster series called Wolfwood, Indigo knows it's a crucial chance to finally regain stability, get some money coming in. But her mother, Zoe, mysteriously refuses. So she's desperate not to lose the opportunity and secretly takes up the brush herself to paint for her mother.
Ooh.
It turns out there might be a very good reason her mother wants nothing to do with Wolfwood. So she starts painting, and Indigo gets submerged into Wolfwood itself, a dangerous jungle where an army of grotesque, monstrous flora are in a violent battle with a band of girls.
What?
Kind of like the Hazelwood, but different. That's fairies. So Indigo enters Wolfwood again and again, and the line between fantasy and reality is blurring without her having to take any substances. It's a tenuous balancing act, keeping her forgery a secret and her mind lucid, all the while she's fighting her attraction to Kai, who is the son of the gallery owner. And I have been a person who fights my attraction to hot guys too, and I never win against myself.
You're funny.
By the time Indigo realizes the true nature of the monster she's up against, it might be too late and the monsters might just win. This sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
It's Wolfwood by Marianna Bear. Comes out March 28th.
That is very cool.
Wow. So those of you that are listening via the podcast, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. We were also live streaming to Amazon Live where people could pre-order the books if you click the shopping carousel. Be sure, if you're not already subscribed over on Amazon, YouTube, or Facebook or Instagram, we are at Dark Side of the Library. You can find us there. Besides a podcast, we also are an Amazon live stream where we talk about tarot decks and dark books and dark games, dark dolls, lots of Halloween stuff. It's about time to start thinking about Halloween again. Not that we ever stopped.
Yes, it's true.
Be sure to drop us a nice comment if you enjoyed the show. Please let your friends who enjoy dark books let them know about our show as well. And you can tune in to our podcast on Wednesdays and on Fridays and on our Amazon Live whenever we feel like going live and are having a good hair day, as Katie clearly is. Yay!
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.